Our border patrols are in trouble again. Jesus Diaz was sentenced to 2 years in prison for allegedly roughing up a suspect drug runner who was caught with other illegals bringing 150 pounds of marijuana across the border from Mexico into the U.S. Joe Pags has spoken in great detail on this and spoken with his wife about the sentence. Diaz contends that he did nothing wrong. We wanted to get his wife, Diana, on the phone with us now and find out the whole story from her. Diana, I'm sorry for what this government is doing to you and your family and your husband. It's been done before, and I fear it will be done again. Tell me your husband's story.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. My husband's story is unfortunately very common to Ramos and Cumpian, to Gary Brugman, Gilmer Hernandez. It was your typical, I guess, Border Patrol agent working the field, comes up on a group of undocumented aliens carrying narcotics. To make a long story short, my husband comes on the scene. The illegal is on the ground on his stomach, handcuffed behind his back. He goes to pick him up. He picks him up. He feels that the alien tensed up like he's going to run. He lifts the cuffs and puts him back down on his stomach. And from there, it kind of just went downhill. The agents that were in the area were all trainees. So some of them felt that my husband was too rough with the illegal. And that's pretty much it. There was no, he didn't hit him, he didn't kick him. There was, he never went to the hospital. The guy didn't have any cuts or bruises. He had nothing on him. It was just the fact that he picked up the handcuffs to push him forward to put him back down on the ground.
So, Diana, this is extremely similar to Gary Brugman's case. And for those not familiar with Gary's case, it was, I think, 2000, 2002, somewhere in there. He was actually sentenced to 2 years in prison for pushing an illegal alien down with his foot.
Yes.
Because the illegal alien was about to stand up against direct orders, so he reached out with his foot and pushed him back down. And for that, he did 2 years in prison. Didn't beat him, didn't kick him, didn't do any of those things. Same with your husband, right? He didn't hit him in any way. He didn't kick him. He wasn't kneeing him. There were no bruises, no marks on him, right?
Nothing, just the mere fact that he lifted the cuffs and he caused him pain. And that's what the judge based it on. That
so
the mere fact that
his shoulders were not dislocated. There was nothing like that.
Nothing. He had pain in his shoulders because he had strap marks where he was carrying marijuana. And you're talking, he weighed maybe about 100 pounds. So you're carrying 60 to 65 pounds and you're that small, it's going to hurt.
So this was actually flared up after the Mexican government insisted that he be prosecuted. Is that what happened?
Yes, sir. They filed a complaint, and it went downhill from there.
Okay, and the United States government has, of course, arrested this young man for carrying the marijuana into the country, and he, of course, is behind bars because he is an admitted drug smuggler.
No. Since he was a juvenile, that same night, he got to go home. He went with the Mexican consulate because he was unaccompanied. So he went with the Mexican consulate, and he's never been in jail.
Oh, he's never been in jail. Okay,
no,
well,
never.
That was really close to doing the right thing. But then he stayed in Mexico. He certainly wouldn't have come over to testify against your husband because then he would have been in a court, and we would have said, well, now, wait a minute. You are admitting that you're a drug smuggler, and we're going to have to do something about that, right?
No. They went and they found him, and they offered him full immunity.
I'm sorry. Who's they? Who's they? They found him.
Internal Affairs.
Internal Affairs went across the border to find a drug smuggler, and they offered him immunity to testify against your border agent husband.
Yes, the Internal Affairs and the Mexican consulate together found the illegal alien, and they offered him immunity on everything, the illegal entry, the drugs. He was never charged with anything. So if today he applies for a visa, if he's not here already, then he can get one with no criminal record. Yet my husband, when he gets out, he can't even get a job.
Well, the good thing is you don't have any children, because having a dad away for 2 years is going to be difficult, right?
Well, that's another thing. Mr. Diaz has 6 children.
No, that's not possible because this government will never separate people from their children because that's wrong to separate them from their children. That's why we allow all these illegal aliens to stay in the country.
They're just good people,
good, decent, hardworking Americans.
Right.
You can't separate them from their children.
But you're just good, hardworking people trying to do the right thing. And
no, like I said, he has 6 kids, and the oldest one he has never held. I mean, the smallest one, because when he was found guilty, I was 8.5 months pregnant. So he's never held our 7-month-old daughter. He's seen her because I take her, and he can see her through the glass, but he is shackled and handcuffed.
Well, he should be shackled and handcuffed. He's clearly a very dangerous man who's clearly a racist who just doesn't like Hispanics.
Well, according to the judge, he is a danger because at his bond hearing, she did not allow him out because she said he was a danger to the community.
Yeah, but the name Diaz, what? You guys are of Irish descent, Norwegian?
Why does your husband hate Hispanics so much?
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't. His parents are from Mexico.
Well, okay, that kind of hurts the whole doesn't like Mexicans, but why doesn't he like Hispanics?
Oh, he has no problem with anybody.
Okay, so he's a white Mexican.
No, by no means. He's not white or Mexican. He is just...
He's a Hispanic Mexican?
He's just a Hispanic. I mean, what Mexican...
Wow. I mean,
I don't...
United States...
we're trying to... Diana, we're just trying to find the intense... jingoistic, nativist hatred here, and it's got to be there somewhere.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, but I wish there was.
Yeah. What can people do? What can we do to help? How do we, with Ramos and Campion, it took, almost 2 years or the better part of 2-3 years to finally get them released.
And it took the presidential order to do it.
Yeah, and it took him leaving office.
This president will not do it. Let me ask you this: what is Rick Perry doing about this?
Mr. Rick Perry is doing nothing. I wrote to Mr. Rick Perry earlier, before even the bond hearing, and I wasn't even good enough to get a letter in the mail. I got a PDF, and he said that it was a federal issue, and as a governor, he couldn't do anything. And that's all I got from Mr. Perry.
What do you think is happening?
I think it's just politics. My husband is a scapegoat for some reason. They felt that, they could give one to Mexico, I guess, give a scalp for unknown reasons. I don't know, because my husband didn't beat him. There was he didn't kill him. There was nothing there. But
what is the government's reasoning? I mean, what is their case here? That he put. I mean, what are they saying about your husband that makes him such a really dangerous man?
Well, he violated his civil rights. According to the judge, if you
have a civil right to smuggle drugs?
I guess so. According to the judge, if you inflict pain on anyone, you are violating their civil rights. You have no reason to do that.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Anybody who has ever had that's ridiculous. You cannot be a law enforcement officer under those kinds of circumstances. You can't, because you put your hands behind your back and you put cuffs on. If you hurt me at all, then I can have the officer go to jail for it. And
now you can, because it's case law.
It's ridiculous.
And I mean, handcuffs were not meant to not hurt. That's the whole point. They hurt just putting them on. They hurt.
Okay.
Now, this isn't Johnny Sutton left in 2009, right? He didn't start this with your husband, did he?
No, he didn't start this. It was Mr. Murphy, the one who took over him.
Okay. Wow. It's still going on.
Yes.
It is. They are still. I to this day, I don't
There's something
understand
wrong with
why you would want to become a U.S. border agent. With what we're doing to our border agents and their families, I don't get it.
Would your husband, if he was cleared, would he still be a border agent?
If you took my husband out of that orange outfit and took those handcuffs off, he would put it on in a heartbeat. And that's the sad part.
Wow.
Like Gary and like Ramos and Cumpian, they would all put the uniform on and do it again in a heartbeat.
It's crazy.
Just,
crazy.
They would forget what happened to me. Let me do my job.
Crazy.
Is there a website?
You know what? You want to do that as a state? You want to get away from the federal government? I could see that. You want to do that in your own community and police and protect your own community. You want to do that as a group of citizens. But this government, and I said this under George W. Bush, this government is treasonous in its actions on the border. There is something going on, and they are using innocent border agents to make some sort of point to the other border agents. Shut up and sit down. And I'm sorry, but I wouldn't risk my life nor my family's life to be in bed with a corrupt government. And our government on the border is absolutely corrupt. Corrupt, plain and simple. I don't know where it is. I don't know why it is, but I'm telling you it's corrupt. Our border agents are in trouble. And if you all wanted to quit, I wouldn't blame you for that. It would cause massive chaos. But you know what? It's better to have that massive chaos and have a state step in and take care of it than to have a corrupt country, a corrupt federal government taking good people and throwing them in jail and making them criminals. It's obscene what is happening. It embarrasses me as to be an American. What's happening on our border embarrasses me as an American. There's no truth. There's no honor in it. You know this weasel Marine in Occupy Wall Street the other day. There's no honor in this. There is no honor in serving in the border agencies with the people that are currently prosecuting you and putting you in jail and handcuffing you from doing your job. There is honor in leaving those people. I'm sorry that this is happening to you, Diana. I'm really, really sorry this is happening to you. And my best to Jesus and to your children. And we will follow the story. And next time I see or speak to Rick Perry, I'm going to ask him about this. And believe me, I'm sorry, I don't believe that injustice is a federal thing. Injustice is a people thing. And when there is an injustice going on, even if you're the governor, you get involved with injustice and you stand one side or another. Did he stand with Ramos and Campion?
No.
He didn't?
No, he did
no.
not. No.
Brugman?
Or Gilmer Hernandez.
No, or Gary Brugman or Hernandez. He didn't stand with anybody. Mm-mm.
You know what? There's something very wrong there. I mean, I like Rick Perry, but when it comes to the border, there's something wrong. And if you don't see that, you don't have a brain. You don't have eyes. All right. Diana, thank you very much.